The wind howled against the glass towers of downtown Chicago. The night everything changed for Victor Hale. Once known as the coldest businessman in the city, a man whose success was sculpted from numbers, negotiations, and a heart hardened by years of loss. But the moment he stepped out of his building and saw a trembling figure crouched beneath the stone awning, her arms wrapped tightly around a tiny bundle, his world shifted in a way he never saw coming. The storm raged violently, rain slicing sideways, yet the young mother tried to shield the infant with nothing but her body. Something in that desperate, fragile scene cracked open a part of Victor he thought no longer existed. If you believe in kindness, compassion, and second chances, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your engagement helps stories like this reach more hearts. The night had been a long one for Victor, filled with tense boardroom meetings and relentless decisions. He had built his empire on efficiency and logic, leaving no room for emotional entanglements. His employees often whispered that he was made of marble, polished, immovable, and cold. But the sight of the young woman huddled near the marble steps halted him in a way no financial crisis ever could. Her soaked hoodie clung to her hair dripping as she whispered comfort to the baby wrapped in a faded pink blanket. She looked exhausted, scared, and utterly alone. Victor found himself frozen, staring, something tightening painfully in his chest as memories of his own childhood storms flickered, storms he had endured without anyone to shield him. He approached slowly, unsure of what he was even doing. The streets were nearly empty, and the thunder rattled overhead. The woman attempted to shrink back, her entire posture bristling with a protective instinct only a mother could possess. Her fear pierced him. Victor realized how imposing he must seem. An expensive suit, a stern expression, a man who looked like he lived above the world she was barely surviving. Even still, he couldn't just walk away, so he offered shelter. Hesitant, she accepted, but only because the baby had begun to cry softly, its tiny voice trembling with the cold more than fear. Inside the lobby, Victor watched her collapse into a chair, pressing the baby closer to her chest as if afraid the warmth might escape. She whispered a shaky apology for being there, as if she believed she owed the world for simply trying to protect her child. Her name was Claire. Her baby girl was MIA. Claire explained that she had been evicted 2 weeks prior after losing her part-time job. She had been staying in shelters, but the storm hit fast and the nearest one had already locked its doors for the night. She had nowhere else to go. For reasons he didn't understand, Victor found himself listening closely, truly listening, in a way he hadn't done for anyone in years. He noticed the calluses on her hands, the exhaustion in her eyes, the way she never let her grip loosen around her daughter. She wasn't irresponsible or reckless. She was a mother fighting with everything she had left. As she spoke, Victor felt something old and aching awaken within him. He remembered being a boy left in a car overnight by parents who forgot more things than they remembered. He remembered cold nights with no one to protect him. And in Claire's trembling voice, he heard echoes of the pain he had buried for decades. He offered her warmth, food, and a quiet space in the employee lounge to rest for a while. She tried to refuse, genuinely believing she didn't deserve help. But when little Mia's cough deepened, Claire's resistance folded instantly into fear. Victor admired that, how every decision she made was rooted in love for her child, not herself. He led them upstairs, and a strange sense of purpose guided his steps. As the hours passed, Victor found himself unable to leave. He checked on them again and again, each time drawn to the peaceful way Mia slept in her mother's arms, the way Claire ran her fingers gently through her daughter's hair. It was a tenderness he had never seen up close, a tenderness he secretly longed for in the parts of his heart he pretended didn't exist. Then came the moment that broke him fully. While holding Mia so Claire could eat, the baby curled her tiny fingers around Victor's thumb, and something inside him shattered. The warmth of that small hand pierced through every layer of distance and coldness he had constructed over the years. He felt tears burn unexpectedly in his eyes, tears he hadn't allowed himself since childhood. He realized then that success had never filled the void people left behind. But this fragile moment, this simple, trusting gesture from a helpless child, it softened him in ways nothing else ever had. Seeing his quiet struggle, Claire finally revealed the truth she had been hiding. Mia's father had abandoned them long before she was born. Claire had been working tirelessly to keep her baby healthy, fed, and safe. She wasn't running from the storm. She was running from a life that had tried to break her, and she was terrified of failing the only person who depended on her. Her honesty struck Victor like lightning. He understood that fear all too well. He had built an empire just to ensure he would never be powerless again, never abandoned again. Claire wasn't weak. She was extraordinary, and her determination humbled him. Victor did something he had never done in his life. He offered help with no contract, no expectation, no benefit to himself. He gave her temporary housing through a company program nobody had ever used, helped her apply for childcare support, and reached out to a friend who managed a community kitchen to offer her a flexible job. But more than that, he visited Claire and Mia often, finding comfort in their presence. Slowly, carefully, a bond grew, one built on trust, warmth, and healing. Over time, Claire found stability, and Mia grew into a bright, giggling baby who adored Victor. And in return, Victor discovered that love, compassion, and connection were far more powerful than any achievement or title he had ever held. Claire and Mia didn't just soften him, they transformed him. They became a light in a life he never realized had grown so dim. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us bring more meaningful stories to the world. Before the ending, comment below, kindness creates miracles. And so, the cold businessman who once walked alone found warmth he never expected, in a mother's courage and a baby's tiny hand. Proof that sometimes the most broken moments lead to the most beautiful transformations.